Sharon, thank you so much for joining me today. It's an honor to be talking to you today about your feature film, your debut, actually, Float. How's your day going so far?
It's going well. It's nice and sunny in Vancouver. I've been told that it's been raining and now it's been the sun's been shining, so it's exciting.
Awesome. Tonight is your premiere for Float. After working on this film for, what is probably a couple of years, what does it feel like now to be premiering in front of a live audience?
It's super exciting. I actually just came from doing a little tech check at the theater, so I got to have a peek at the theater and it just everything became real suddenly. Definitely am very excited and just even seeing all the names at the beginning of the film come up and just made me miss everybody so much and excited that everyone's going to be able to come because we did shoot here in beautiful Vancouver and Squamish. So a lot of our team is located here. So I'm just really looking forward for them to see the work that they put in and hopefully be proud and excited, yeah, about this film. Yeah.
Yeah. So the original story, it's an adaptation of a Wattpad story
Mhm.
that you co-wrote for the
Yeah.
adaptation. What was the process like to adapt a story for your feature?
Yeah. Well, it was a really special kind of um, marriage because when I read Kate's book, um, I felt really like there's so much about it that related to my own life. It was kind of uncanny. Um, so the book is actually about a 17-year-old girl from Alaska who is sort of rejected by her parents because they're going through a divorce, and they ship her to see her aunt, her kooky kind of artsy aunt in Florida, and she spends the summer with a new group of friends and learns to swim. And when I was in my 20s, I went on a trip on my own, and I had to learn to swim as well. And it's a love story, and I also fell in love on this trip. And the piece about the parents, there's rejection, and like I have a complicated relationship with my parents as well, having immigrated to Canada when I was very young. And anyway, so the film, I was able to bring a lot of the elements from my own life into the film. And the film is actually based on characters that are 10 years older than the people in the book and the characters in the book. Um, and so, yeah, it's still, very true to the same themes of belonging and, the romance of the book, but it also brings in my own personal stories as well. So I was very excited that Wattpad and Lionsgate Elevation and everybody was excited about this take. So yeah.
I specifically talking about Waverly's character and how you changed her story from being shipped to being her decision. Um, I can relate to that, and I think a lot of people in millennials and under can relate with wanting to be somewhere else other than their own city. I think a lot of us have that kind of that fear of missing out on. There's so much happening other places, and I think a lot of people just hate where they are. Does that make sense?
100%. I'm a traveler at heart too, so I love being in other places and seeing the world. And like I think being out of your own city or your wherever you're from kind of takes you out of your own comfort zone and allows you to open your mind up to other things, including very much so your own life. Gives you a little bit of perspective about what's important. And when Waverly escapes to now fictional BC, as this is like set in Canada, um, she's able to kind of, gain some perspective about what's important. What does she actually want? Is she actually living the life that she wants, or is it the life that her parents want her to have. Yeah, and I
Yeah.
think those questions are very true for all
Yeah,
of us.
yeah, yeah. She's a very layered character, and she's kind of battling some internal demons on a few different fronts. One of them is obviously her relationship with her parents, and you mentioned you incorporated her fear of water and
Hmm.
her desire to want to overcome that. And I think it's it's very layered, and her desire to want to overcome water, I related to that because I also currently still can't swim. So
Really?
I really can't, no.
I love that. I don't meet a lot of non-swim swimmers, so
Yeah, I have never been able to overcome it. And um even people that are closest to me who say I will try to help you, teach you to float and things like that, it's just very difficult, and I've never been able to actually float and actually swim. So
are
I
you
definitely
giving
can
up?
relate to Waverly's journey in the film.
Yeah. Well, maybe she'll inspire you to try again.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe if Robbie ML is teaching me how to
Yeah,
swim,
yeah.
then
I'll,
definitely
I'll
I'll
send
have
him
to.
a note.
Yeah, send him a message. um, when it came to casting Robbie Amell and Andrea Bang for this role, you had a little bit of experience working with both of them, Andrea on Kim's Convenience, and I wasn't sure if you at the time you were already working on Code 8. Did you
No,
have
yeah.
no?
So Codate actually came afterwards, but Robbie was already attached to the film when I
Mhm.
came on board. So we very much had him in mind as we were even creating the script. Um, so yeah, that was really wonderful to be able to have that as a starting point and like to have Robbie be such a big supporter of Float. And then it was just a matter of finding our female protagonist or lead. And Andrea came along and she was just so perfect. And I had worked with her on Kim's Convenience, and this is such a different role for her that is very different from her role on Kim's Convenience. So I'm excited for everyone to see her in this role.
I was able to check out your short film, the things you think I'm thinking,
Oh,
and it was a beautiful short film. I really enjoyed it, and I like seeing variety of work. That way I can kind of understand where you come as a director. And
mhm.
how did you feel your style changed from doing short films or even episodic television to features?
Yeah. Wow. I feel like I should ask you that. Um, I think that I can't escape myself as as a storyteller. I only see the world through my own eyes and I imagine things a certain way, and I don't really think of it as like I don't have like a formula or a way I'm like, oh, I have to do it. This is like my signature or um and so I think it is more in inherent to the way I work. And yeah, I really think of things in the moment of what does the scene need, and um I'm always focused on, emotion and character and like connection between characters, no matter what the genres are. And I think maybe the through line of my work, my personal work, is relationship. I'm really interested in relationship and the complicated, messy stuff that we all have to deal with because nothing is straightforward in relationships. Um, and then I think making a feature film differs from making television in purely an emotional way. With Float, I am sort of putting my heart on the line and my own, vision to it. And then in television, I find it so fun because you get to play more and like you're there to support a greater team. You're sort of a piece of the puzzle. and I love that collaboration. But I think logistically, it's like the same job. So yeah, I think that the difference is in this kind of emotional approach.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I can see your love for wanting to um, put the full character's emotions on screen and have them interact and having these very dynamic conversations with individuals. I definitely see that as a through line in your work,
Mm.
and especially in this one, it being such a personal piece and putting so much of your own self in it. That a lot of people, as much as people say that they like to do that, it is difficult. So
Mm.
I think you did a fantastic job with being putting yourself in Waverly's shoes and putting so much of yourself in this film. It was
Thank
wonderful.
you. I
Yeah,
appreciate that.
yeah. In terms of filming the
Hmm.
water scenes,
Hmm.
um, was it difficult, or were there any difficulties of translating her fear uh, through showcasing the water?
I mean, shooting in the water is quite a feat. So we had a few days in the pool, and then we had some time in the actual ocean as well. And so, and you know what, Andrea is also, you know, part of the reason she was perfect for the role was because she also had a bit of a fear herself with the water, and we actually did swimming lessons with her in preparation for the
Oh,
film as
okay.
well.
Oh, wow.
So it was kind of like she was also going through
Yeah.
it. um, so I hope that that authenticity shows. Um, but also when we were shooting in the ocean, it was actually really cold.
Oh, yeah.
So that challenge, I think the logistical challenge and the filmmaking challenge, along with like her own physical challenge, their own, Robbie too, they were in this freezing water and making it look beautiful and romantic, which, yeah, they're amazing.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Going back to the conversation of traveling and going to new locations, um, I thought you captured really well the supporting cast,
Mm.
because every time I go on vacation somewhere, I always feel like everyone is so welcoming, and it makes me question: is this really how you behave to people, or is it just because I'm a foreigner? I'm not from here. So I thought you captured that really well. And what was your take when writing the supporting cast?
Honestly, that's exactly what you said. Like when I've traveled on my own, it's the people I meet that are always so surprising to me. You go somewhere and they really take you in. It's as if you've known each other for so long. So I really wanted to capture that warmth and that generosity and also the community. And the film is so much about belonging, and the fact that she was able to find, kind of her people in this town, was very important. And yeah, I think for sure it's a romance between, Blake and Waverly, but I think the community plays such an important part in this film and in their relationship as well. And yeah, I loved all of them, and seeing them on screen too. I want to be a part of that group of friends. And it was also an opportunity to bring in some diversity and some representation as well. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I think one element for me, one element that really emphasized the welcoming you into a community and feeling like you belong somewhere was um, the child, the pregnancy in the film, because when you are invited to such personal events like a baptism or some sort of wedding or a birth or anything like that, when you are involved in those types of events, you feel like you are connected to people. So I love that. I love that incorporation because I think it made Waverly uh, not want to leave because she was so welcomed.
Hmm.
Yeah.
For sure. I think having this option that you never thought of before, that your life could be a completely different thing, and it could be happy, and it could be simple, all of that is very enticing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Wonderful. Sharon, thank you so much for talking with me today. It was a wonderful chat. Uh, I'm excited for Float. I'm excited for people to see it tonight. Congratulations. It's going to
Thank you
be
so
a
much.
wonderful premiere. I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much. It was so nice talking to you as well.
Nice talking to you.
Thanks for having me.